If we could read along the first passage from Acts chapter 6, verses 1 through 7. Now, during those days, this passage speaks to the early Christian church in Jerusalem, where there were Greek-speaking Christians and then Hebrew-speaking Christians who were, of course, converts from Judaism. And for whatever reason, probably, there was probably no intent of malice, but those widows and orphans of the Greek-speaking Christians weren't being taken care of at the same level as the Jewish-speaking widows and orphans, and this is what resulted, is that the men of the church brought that to the 12 disciples in Jerusalem, and rather than the 12 disciples go out and deal with it themselves, they put together a team of 7 people to do that work, while the disciples continued to do their work of building up the whole church in Jerusalem. So I thought it was a good example of teamwork in action in the early church. And now I invite you to read along with me from Ephesians chapter 4, verse 16. When I was in St. Joseph Hospital a few weeks ago for my hip replacement surgery, I witnessed, to me, what was an amazing display of teamwork. Everyone that I came in contact with during my hospital stay knew what part they played on the team. They did the job in a caring, compassionate, and totally professional manner. From the nurses who worked as a team to prepare me for the surgery, to the anesthesia team, to the surgeon, everyone worked together with a common goal of ensuring that I had a successful hip replacement surgery. Their display of teamwork made me feel at ease when I went into surgery, and I believe it resulted in a very successful surgical experience for me. Again, the main thing I got out of it was that when they rolled me into the operating room, I felt totally at ease because of how they worked together, how they prepared, how they were ready to take care of me when I came into the hospital. So this morning, I'd like to share with you some stories and examples of good teamwork and not so good teamwork, hopefully showing you the advantages of working together as a team to achieve a goal. I recently read a story about a farmer who noticed a highway department truck pulling over on the shoulder of the road. And one man got out of the truck and he dug a hole and he got back into the truck. And then the other occupant in the truck got out and he filled up the hole and got back into the truck. And then he drove about 50 yards and repeated this process. And the farmer got out and asked these 2 workers, "What are you doing?" And the driver of the truck replied, "Well, we're on a highway beautification project, and the guy who plants the trees is homesick today." So we had a team of 3 people who weren't all there, and the 2 who were there weren't all there either. Great teamwork makes things happen more than anything else within organizations, more so than skill or qualifications or even money. And that's true whether that's in your family, within church, within business, or within your personal life. More than once I've heard sport teams coaches say, it's easy to get good players. Getting them to play together, that's the hard part. So what is teamwork? So I looked it up in the dictionary, of course. Teamwork is the combined, effective action of a group or a team to achieve a common goal or vision. Teamwork means that we share a common goal. We embrace that goal, regardless of our differences, We work together, shoulder to shoulder, confident in each other's faith, trust, and commitment. And in the end, teamwork can be summed up, I think, in 5 short words. We believe in each other. Throughout the Bible, we read stories about people working together as teams to achieve a goal or a mission. Right in the first chapter of Genesis, God says to Adam that it's not good that man should be alone. So God created a partner for Adam, and they worked together as a team. Another example would be Noah and his family. And Nehemiah, when he built the wall, he had a great team to work with. And Moses, he had a team of people around him. His brother and Joshua, and of course Jesus and the 12 disciples, who I would argue is the greatest team ever. And then there was Paul and Silas, and Barnabas and Mark, and many others. And there's one story in the Bible that really sticks out to me, which is the Tower of Babel. And it's a picture of what can be achieved by a team that is truly united. And I'm sure you all know the story. At one time, the whole world spoke a single language and used the same words. As the people migrated eastward, they found a plain in the land of Babylonia and settled there. They began to talk about construction projects. Come, they said, let's make great piles of burnt brick and collect asphalt to use as mortar. Let's build a great city with a tower that reaches to the skies, a monument to our greatness. This will bring us together and keep us from scattering all over the world. But the Lord came down to see the city and the tower the people were building. Look, he said, if they can accomplish this when they have just begun to take advantage of their common language and political unity, just think of what they will do later. Nothing will be impossible for them. So here we observe that the Babylonians took full advantage of the impact of teamwork and collaboration, where they were working together aggressively and passionately toward a common goal. And here we discover that even when a team has a wrong motive, united in speech and action, that nothing would be impossible. So when everyone is singing from the same song sheet and putting their faith into practice, the sky is the limit to what can be accomplished. But just think how much more that we as believers can accomplish working in partnership with God on our side. Now, earlier in the service, Lynn had talked to the children about how geese work together as a team to accomplish their goal of migrating during the fall season of the year. So, what are the steps that we have to go through to achieve good teamwork? I think first of all, the team members must really and truly care for one another. And I saw that when I was in the hospital. Especially the nurses that were working together as a team, not only did they care about me and my well-being, but they cared about each other. While they were working together on me, they were conversing with each other and talking about their children and about their families. And again, you could see that they cared for each other, which again overflowed into a caring for me as well. Uncaring people on a team remind me of 2 guys in a sinking boat who were sitting together at one end doing nothing. Now, as the people at the other end of the boat were bailing the water out furiously, one of these 2 guys who were doing nothing said, "Wow, thank God that the hole isn't in our end of the boat." So while they were sitting there doing nothing, the other people in the boat were were working hard and they were sacrificing to try and keep the boat afloat. And without sacrifice, there can be no success. Sometimes we're called to sacrifice our time, our efforts, our talents, our comfort, our own desires for the sake of the team. And I think the Three Musketeers said it the best: all for one and one for all. That's how a good team works. The second step for effective teamwork, I believe, is that team members must communicate. And they must communicate effectively. Teams that have good communication among themselves can achieve great things. As a team leader where I work, I see that every day among my team. My team is at work is tasked with a lot of responsibility. We're in a very high-profile position where I work. And every day I see my team. They care about each other. They communicate with each other. Each one of the members of my team knows not only what they're doing, but what the other people on the team are doing, so that they're not duplicating efforts. They're not doing things redundantly. And so that good communication makes for a great team where I work. Conversely, poor communication or lack of communication totally can lead, again, wasted effort, where multiple people may be doing the same things. And then it's all downhill from there, where that lack of communication could result in conflict among the team, and discontent, and ultimately the demise of the team. So good communication is very important for effective teamwork.